All right, everybody, welcome in to Spreads and Subs, episode 2. We are live on YouTube on the hashmark YouTube. We're live on TikTok on the hashmark TikTok. I know everybody on YouTube should be able to hear me clearly. Everybody on TikTok, please hit the comments. Let me know. Make sure you can hear me clearly. I've been having some mic issues, so let me know. All right, we'll wait for everybody to get in here. Wait like one more minute, and then we'll get this underway. A lot of good sports on today, guys. A lot of good sports. TikTok, can y'all hear me? Are we good? Let me know. This is not Dave, no. It's not Dave. Can you hear me clearly, though? Shout out, Dave. Alrighty. Perfect. Let's get going then. As we know, you guys can go to the YouTube. I'll have all the graphics up there for everything that we're sponsored by. The picks that I'm going to be giving y'all today for today's bets. Everything will be on there, so if you want to see everything more visual, go over to the hashmark YouTube. I'm live on there right now as well. All right, starting us off, Bet Openly is our sponsor for this show, as always. Go to Bet Openly. The link is in the description on YouTube. Sign up, screenshot that you signed up, and send it to me at JReedNBA on Twitter, JREIDNBA, and I'll be able to get you into a giveaway for Hash Cash. Anybody that signs up and sends me that screenshot will immediately be entered in that giveaway. And bet with Bet Openly, they have the best odds in the game. Let's start it off today with my first bet. As always, I'm going to give you guys 10 bets. I'm going to cut it down to 3 at the end of the show, and those are going to be my 3 best bets. Let's start off, though, by looking at yesterday and seeing how we did yesterday. Let's pull up what the 3 bets I picked were, because I swear I always forget. Let's see. Okay, what was today's date? 5/6/24. All right. And the top bets were... Okay, Pirates Angels under 7.5 runs. We hit that. Halliburton did not go over on his 17.5 points. And let's see what the score of this game was. 106-180. So the under hit on that one. So we went 1 and 2 yesterday and a 3. Not great. Was not happy about that. That Pirates Angels one was very easy. Went exactly how we said it would. But that Wolves Nuggets game was just a complete shock to everybody. No way we were going to predict the Nuggets getting run off their own home court yesterday. We will work to do better today. Let's start it off. Basketball, NBA. We got the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got Celtics minus 11.5. Celtics have had a lot of rest time. There's a lot of times where I'll take you got the Russ versus rest disagreement here. Some people say, oh, you take a long break, you're not playing in that same rhythm you were playing with. Well, you have other teams who maybe went 6 or 7 in their series, but they're in more of a rhythm than the team that's swept or won in a gentleman's sweep in 5 games. In this situation, the Cavs had a hard-fought 7-game series. Celtics basically easily cleaned up the Heat in 5 games. The only reason the Heat won is because they had 23 threes in Game 2. Cavs only get 1 day off. They played Game 7 on Sunday in Cleveland. Now they got to go to Boston for Game 1 of the Celtics series. Cavs went 0-3 on the road in that Orlando series. Lost by an average of 22.5 points on the road in that Magic series. I'm going to take the Celtics to win by more than 11.5 here. I think they could win this game by 20 points, establish themselves early on in the series. They're a much better team than the Cavs. I trust the Celtics team a lot more. Sticking in this game, bet number 2. And as always, out of these 10 bets, I am going to pick the 3 at the end, and I have not already picked them. So I'm going to pick them live, of course. Second bet here, Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points. The stats just backed this one up completely. He averaged 28.7 points per game in the Magic series. That's a much better defensive team than the Celtics team. I will give the Celtics team a lot of credit, though. They are a very underrated defensive team. They are, because their offense is so good. No Porzingis, you lose a little bit of rim protection there. And the Magic, of course, have a ton of rim protection. He averaged 28.7 points per game in that series. Versus the Celtics this season, a lot of times with Porzingis, Donovan Mitchell averaged 30 against the Celtics team. I think we should see him, win or lose against this team, we should see him average about 30 points per game against the Celtics. And I think this 27.5 is the lowest we're probably going to get in this series for him, so I'm going to take that in Game 1. I like to try to take advantage of these Game 1s because this is usually where the lines are a little bit off. They tend to even themselves out as the series goes on. So early on in this series, we want to try and see the best odds we could possibly get. Okay, moving on. Al Horford, under 9.5 points. This hit in 4 of the 5 games against the Heat. Averaged 5.3 points versus the Cavs this season in 4 games. He was not getting a ton of minutes, basically the same minutes as he was getting in this last series. Both the Cavs bigs are going to be active in this game, which makes it a much worse game for Horford. He averaged those 5.3 points in most of those games. Either Evan Mobley or Jared Allen or both were not active. They should both be active tonight. I don't see a way that he goes and puts up 10 points against this Cavs team. I think the under 9.5 is a steal for us, and that's one of my favorite ones of the day. Okay, moving on here to the second NBA game. Next bet here, let me get the graphic up. Thunder minus 3.5. This is my favorite play of the day. I'm spoiling it a little bit. This is going to be in my final 3. Similar to the Boston-Cleveland series, Thunder has a lot of rest, and the Mavs only have 1 day of rest. The Thunder are just a better team in general. They did win 3 out of 4 games against the Mavs this season. Of course, that Mavs game that they did win, I think they put up like 140-something points. The most recent time we saw the Thunder play Dallas, I know Dallas didn't have their best players. Thunder still won by 50 points in that game just a month or so ago. I am in love with this Thunder team. The Mavericks team, I made a TikTok talking about this series. You can check it out on this Hashmark page. It's also on the YouTube Shorts page as well. But it's really going to come down to the series. Can Luka and Kyrie guard? When the games that they guarded against the Clippers, similar to Game 2, we saw them guard super well. We saw them guard well in Game 4, I think it was as well. Those were the games where the Dallas is the most competitive and the best that they can be. And when you see those two guard is when you see this Dallas team in full force. Do I think they're going to be able to guard a lot of these teams? Not really. They were not able to guard the Thunder well all season. I don't think we see them guard them well this series. I do see the series going 6 or 7 games, but Game 1, Thunder at home. I think they could win this game by a good amount. Got them at 3.5 here. I think that's a steal, and I would hammer that Thunder minus 3.5. Moving on to play number 5 of the day, we got the Thunder team total over 110.5. Same reasons as I'm picking the Thunder minus 3.5. Thunder scored 124 points per game versus the Mavs this season. That's 13.5 more points, 13.5 more points. Or no, 14. I was right the first time. 14.5 more points than the team total is set at right now for this game. And the thing, I also talked about this in the TikTok that I made. Shea only scored 22 points per game against the Mavs this year, and they still were able to get 124 points per game as a team. This team in general plays well and scores well against the Mavs. And we saw a series like the Pelicans series. Shea was not phenomenal in that series. He was still pretty good. He was better than 22 points per game, but he shot like 29% from 3. We're going to be able to see, we saw last series what the Thunder team can do as a whole if Shea's not playing well. And now we get to see Shea versus a Mavs team that he has not put a ton of points on. Let's see if this Thunder team keeps it up again like they did all season and like they did last series. I think they will. I like the Thunder to cover their team total over and the spread today. And then my last NBA bet before I get into some MLB for y'all. Here we go. Cason Wallace over 4.5 points. I'm seeing... Okay, no, cool. We're good. I thought we were disconnected for a second. Cason Wallace over 4.5 points. I love Cason Wallace, Kentucky Wildcat. But he covered this in half the games against the Pelicans in the first series. He's getting about 17 minutes per game in the playoffs so far through 4 games. He averaged 11.3 points per game versus Dallas this year. That's a whole basically 7 points higher than what his line is set at. Excuse me. So I just think this is going to be an easy cover for him, only to get 5. He's getting that 17 minutes per game in the playoffs. That's about what he was getting earlier in the season when they were playing against the Mavs. When he was averaging that 11, it was about on the same minutes. If the minutes stay steady as they did in the regular season, we should see the same thing take place here in the playoffs. So that is it for my NBA bets. We'll move on to some MLB bets for you. Blue Jays money line is my first one. They are dogs in this game against the Phillies. Phillies are red hot, and their odds have completely shot up. They're favored to win like every game now, it seems. They've won 6 in a row. But this win streak of the 6 in a row, people aren't talking about. It's against the San Francisco Giants and the LA Angels. This team is not going out there and dominating great teams. They're Giants money line. I like it. But yeah, they're out there and they're not dominating great teams. Like I said, they played the Angels and the Giants. Toronto has their ace, Jose Barrios, on the mound. 1.44 ERA in 43 innings this year. He's been fantastic for them. I know a lot of people are going to be betting on the Phillies. We get a chance to get their ace on the mound at plus money at plus 115. At least it was there when I made these notes last night. Let me check one more time to make sure it's still at plus 115. I assume it is, unless it got better, but... Okay, no, it did get worse. It's at plus 105. So the bets are flooding in on Blue Jays money line. Still plus money, though. I would take that at plus 105 regardless. Moving on. Give me the Bucks money line. Speaking of the Angels, they won 4-1 against the Angels yesterday. Mitch Keller had an awesome outing like we expected him to when we talked about that yesterday on this show. Pirates have Quinn Priester on the mound. He did not have a great start to this season, but his last start was phenomenal. He has a 3.31 ERA coming off that great start. Angels have Sandoval on the mound. He has a just under 6 ERA on the season. Pirates were in a huge hitting slump. Seem to have gotten out of it last night. We'll see if they could stay out of it. Angels have been in a slump, and they did not seem to get out of it last night at all. I'm hoping the Pirates have beat that, and they could ride on that Angels ice-cold hitting, and Quinn Priester can get you back-to-back good starts. When he plays against teams that are in hitting slumps or teams that just are not good at hitting, he has been pretty good. He hasn't been letting bad teams beat up on him. It's when he plays the good teams that he's struggled. I think he'll have a good outing for the Pirates. I think they get the win here against the Angels. 2 more for you. Oh, there we go. Tigers and Guardians under 8.5 runs. Neither of these teams is hitting the ball too well, especially the Tigers. Both pitchers are in mid-5 ERAs, so we get a higher over-under at 8.5 here. If this was set at 7.5, I would not take it. 8.5, when you have the Tigers playing in a game, is an absolute steal. I could expect to see somewhere of like a 4-1, 5-1 result here for the Guardians winning. Anytime you can get a team like the Tigers who just doesn't hit the ball with an 8.5 over-under, you should hammer the under no matter who is pitching in this game. Out of all the baseball bets, I'd say this one is probably my favorite. Maybe this game goes crazy and goes over, but I just do not see the Tigers going off and just all of a sudden getting hot hitting when they just haven't been all season. And then last one here. Where are we at? There we go. Royals money line. I guess I could just move this whole graphic up now. Yeah, there we go. Royals money line. The Brewers are starting to slump a little bit. They have not been great recently. Jesus, this graphic is tweaking on me. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. Yeah, like I said, Brewers are starting to slump a little bit. They're playing against Kansas City. Kansas City's pitcher, Seth Lugo, has been great this season. Undefeated, sub-2 ERA. In the Cy Young race as of right now, he's just been absolutely shoving. Both teams are solid at scoring runs, but the Royals tend to give up less. I expect to see a good outing for Lugo against a team like the Brewers that is starting to slump. Got shut out by the Cubs a couple days ago. This just seems like a game where KC is going to be able to upset the Brewers with their ace on the mound. And let's see what the odds are. I don't have it on the top of my head. It's minus 120 for the Royals right now. So it is making its way closer to a pick'em as we speak. Maybe I wait on that one a little bit and place it, but I like that one as well. So, okay. I'm going to pick my 3 now. Like I said, we have a 1-2 record coming off yesterday. Wasn't great. We need to bounce back today. All right. I already said my favorite play out of all these is the Thunder minus 3.5 against the Mavericks. I think we see the Thunder get out to a lead in this game, score a shit ton of points, and beat the Mavs early, who are coming off of a series that they had to grind it out. Even though maybe they shouldn't have had to grind it out, they did. I think the Thunder win very easily today. So Thunder minus 3.5 will be my first bet. And then I will go with, in the other game for basketball, Al Horford under 9.5 points. Like I said, hit this in all but one game against the Heat. Only averaged about 5 points against the Cavs this season without both of their defensive bigs playing for a lot of the season. I think we see Al Horford struggle against them. The only way I could see this not hitting is if he stretches the floor and starts hitting some threes. But like I said, he didn't do that most of last series. I don't see that happening here against the Cavs, a much better defensive team. Okay, so we have Al Horford under 9.5, Thunder minus 3.5, and my last best bet of the day, I'm going to go with that Tigers Guardians under 8.5. Like I said, I'm going to try to take teams like the Tigers, like the Pirates, like the Angels. When your line is set at 8.5 for those teams, I don't care who they're playing, I'm going to take that under. I like the fact that the Guardians have pitched well at times this season, although the pitcher today does have a mid-5 ERA. I think he's going to be able to shut down this Tigers team that just does not hit the ball well at all. And that 8.5 could hit very easily with a 4-1, 5-1, 4-2 kind of result there. So, those are all my bets. As you can see them all on the screen. I'll read them off. The 10, Celtics minus 3.5, Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points, Al Horford under 9.5 points, Thunder minus 3.5, Thunder team total over 110.5, Casey Wallace over 4.5 points, Blue Jays money line, Pirates money line, Tigers Guardians under 8.5, and Kansas City Royals money line. And then my best three there, Al Horford under 9.5, Thunder minus 3.5, Tigers Guardians under 8.5. So that's going to do it for today's show, episode 2 of Spreads and Subs. For all the new viewers, we do this show every weekday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. I will be back with 10 more bets and break them down to 3 for you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Everybody, good luck on all of your bets. We hope to win. Hopefully we're better than 1 and 2 like we were yesterday. I think we will be, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.